Every single year, 10 faculty in the Faculty of Arts and Sciences are given full release from their own teaching responsibilities. So they get their salary, but they don't engage in any teaching. Instead, what they do is they go back to the classroom as students. So we've had physics professors who have taken a semester of philosophy courses, religious studies professors who have studied at the law school, professors who have learned new languages. And it changes not just the kind of research that our faculty are able to do, but also the kind of teaching that our faculty engage in, because they have been, for a full semester, sitting alongside their undergraduate students, learning what it is to learn in the 21st century, and learning what there is to be learned.
I was at the beginning stages of a new research project that required me to learn some very new fields outside of what I had learned in the past. It involved some of the history of geology and biology. I hadn't actually taken any courses in biology since high school. The Teaching Relief for Learning allowed me to take a semester and actually just do the first part of the intro bio sequence and an intro geology class, which were really useful for me in just getting my bearings in what these fields look like. I'm not actually going to be doing the science. In order to understand some of the history of the science and technology that I am interested in, it was really helpful to just step out of what I'm doing for a little while and take these classes.
The project I was working on, am working on still, is a history of development economics. And so I wanted to take courses in development economics. I wanted to learn how development economists think and what they think about. In some ways, it was an ethnographic experience. I'm not going to become a development economist, but the idea was to really immerse myself in how development economists think, and I found that really, really rewarding. It gave me a kind of entree into a different department, people I wouldn't necessarily have met or got to know otherwise. It also really helped me think about how I wanted to write about development economics as a field of study. It was terrifically helpful for the research I was doing, and I think makes for a better book. But I also, and here comes the surprise part of it, really benefited handily from the experience of being a student again. First was it'd been a long, long time since I'd been in the chairs of a classroom rather than up front, and just to be able to situate myself as Yale College students do really gave me a different perspective on how I think, how I communicate what's important as a teacher, some nuts and bolts sorts of things, as well as big picture things about why we teach and how students see us.
Observing someone else's teaching was great. I mean, it was a little bit odd because I ended up doing this in one of the COVID semesters, and we were basically all remote. So I got to watch as some of my colleagues recreated their classes for remote delivery, and it was so impressive to watch from the outside. I mean, I had in the previous semester struggled to do that myself, but now I was sort of watching and working with some colleagues who did fairly complicated intro classes with all sorts of sections and homework assignments and lots of different students who were all over the world at that point. And it was humbling to watch what they were able to do in that kind of a context, and to see that commitment and that creativity. That was as much an education as the actual working through the intro bio textbook.
I was an absolute evangelist for Teaching Relief for Learning. A few of my colleagues have done it since. I'd like to take a little bit of credit for calling it to their attention. We get into this business, academic more broadly, because we like learning things, and this is really a way to find a new joy as well as learning things in the academy. It's one of the most interesting things I've done, and I'm coming now about 25 years of teaching. I'm eternally grateful.